So it looks like the UK government are up to their old tricks again. Commie Keir Starmer has come out and fined, well, he's using Ofcom to fine 4chan £20,000 with daily penalties. An American company is being charged by the Stasi Labour government to adhere to their free speech standards. And of course they're using children to do it, they always do, but it's nothing to do with the children. The children have been through a bad deal of shit in this country over the years, and the Labour Party has never cared once. So, here's the statement released by 4chan regarding Ofcom's reported provisional notice, 4chan Community Support LLC. According to the press reports, UK Office of Communications has issued a provisional notice under the Online Safety Act alleging a contravention by 4chan and indicating an intention to impose a penalty. Oh, so they haven't actually done it. They're indicating an intention to impose a penalty of £20,000 plus daily penalties thereafter. 4chan is a United States company incorporated in Delaware with no establishment, assets or operations in the United Kingdom. It's mental. Any attempt to impose or enforce a penalty against 4chan will be resisted in US federal court. That's going to be interesting, isn't it? It's almost like the UK government are getting taken to court in America over free speech. This will be an interesting. I'm gonna keep a close eye on this, guys. American businesses do not surrender their First Amendment rights because a foreign bureaucrat sends them an email.
Stop that.
Under settled principles of US law, American courts will not enforce foreign penal fines or censorship codes. If necessary, we will seek appropriate relief in US federal court to confirm these principles. United States federal authorities have been briefed on this matter. The Prime Minister, Keir Starmer, was reportedly warned by the White House to cease targeting Americans with UK censorship codes.
Stop that.
And then he lied to Trump's face repeatedly, saying that the UK is a proud tradition of free speech and that it will long continue. Despite these warnings, Ofcom continues its illegal campaign of harassment against American technology firms. A political solution to this matter is urgently required, and that a solution must come from the highest levels of American government. We call on the Trump administration to invoke all diplomatic and legal levers available to the United States to protect American companies from extraterritorial censorship mandates. Our clients reserves all rights. It is massively interesting, this one, guys. The UK government is getting taken to court, and I'm here for it. I'm here for it. I'm delighted, actually, that this is going the way that it is.
Pow, motherfucker!
The only downside is, if the Americans let this happen, what that means is that they're working together. They're using Britain to censor their own people, and if they come and say, "Oh, we can't do anything about it, guys. You've got to pay the fine," that's the Americans. I don't know why they do this, but that would be them, for me, in my eyes, colluding with the British state to censor their own people. Anyway, let's see what the comments say. Surely this has to be the dumbest of all current Western communist leaders if he thinks it is going to fly. Yeah, genuine dictator, cheap Chinese knockoff. Although not for long. I mean, China is still building its super embassy in London, the biggest embassy in Europe. So how communist can you go? Probably pretty communist. Communist rules, she would not have stood for. Communist rules, she would not have stood for it. I don't know who he's referring. Oh, the Queen. Yeah, I don't think she would. But I don't know her, so I don't know. Mr. Starmer told Mr. Trump too, yeah, this is what I'm talking about, this.
We absolutely backed each other up, and that's at the
Could you take on Russia by yourselves?
Well,
all right, one or two more.
Vice President Vance condemned free speech violations in the UK, particularly. Could you respond? What is your message?
I have an idea. We have the man right here. Come on. Let's go, JD. We're putting you on stage.
Great. Yeah, look, I said what I said, which is that
we do have, of course, a special relationship with our friends in the UK and also with some of our European allies. But we also know that there have been infringements on free speech that actually affect not just the British. Of course, what the British do in their own country is up to them, but also affect American technology companies.
The British are doing this. The British don't want this. Something else is going on in the UK, but the British are not doing this.
And by extension, American citizens. So that is something that we'll talk about today at lunch.
We've had free speech for a very, very long time in the United Kingdom, and it will last for a
He will lie to your face with cold, dead eyes.
very, very long time. Well, no, I mean, certainly we wouldn't want to reach across US citizens, and we don't, and that's absolutely right. But
They're literally targeting 4chan, an American company ran by American citizens. You lying piece of shit. This is a good one. Yeah, he's just weaponized the autistic chans. That's not going to end well. As we know, if you really want to get yourself in internet or online or digital trouble, then target the crazy lunatic leftists on 4chan. That's going to do it. And everyone's seen this, guys. Look, another example of how Starmer lies. He reassured Donald Trump Britain had free speech, then carried on trying to ban the internet. And everyone can see this. So the only way that this can stick, right? The only way I can see this sticking is if there's some kind of capitulation by the Americans for some reason and allow this to happen, because it will need to happen to their own citizens in their own country. That would be a loss of, I don't know, like sovereignty in a way. You know, if a foreign bureaucrat can essentially start to ruin one of your own countries through some random free speech claim, that's a loss of sovereignty. Why would you do that? So unless there's collusion, or unless there's some weird strategy that I'm at a loss for, I can't see the Americans allowing this. So what does it mean, right? What does it mean overall? Well, if they can fine 4chan and set the fines initially low, but let's say at a daily rate, then that can obviously creep up into quite a large sum of money. Things that would cripple smaller platforms, maybe, potentially, certainly platforms that they don't want people using. Because the UK government right now, they don't want you to talk about Islam. They don't want you to talk about free speech. They don't want you to talk about mass immigration. They don't want you to talk about the boat bastards. They don't want you to talk about the mass rape of the rape of Britain and its children. They don't want you to talk about online censorship. They don't want you to talk about BlackRock or Vanguard or forced behaviours. They don't want you to talk about that, but they're going to use the excuse of protecting your children to make sure that you don't. And they'll start with 4chan, then they'll target YouTube, X. Once they know they can get away with this, that's it. Game over. So it's a pretty big deal. Let's see how it turns out. See you later.